Yo, what's up? This is Giorgio Martini from Noise is King, and in this video we're going to be showing you how to create hi-hats, maracas, metallic hi-hats, splashes, cymbals, and all those kind of drum sounds. So let's get to it. So we drag a drum rack from the instruments folder over here to a MIDI or an empty track, and there we have it. Now next thing we're going to be doing is we drag a operator over here. We just drag it like that, and we go over here when we double click, so we create a new empty click and we put some notes over here. Okay, so that is done. So we double click and we have our operator as it is by default. So if we just play this clip, we're just going to be hearing our clip with a sine wave, which is the default waveform. All right, not bad. So we're going to be showing you here how to use the 4 types of noises that you can make with operator. Maybe there are more, but in this video we're going to be checking these 4. So out of the box with operator, we have if you go over here to the oscillator section and here to the wave area, you can see you can choose all of these built-in waveforms, and over here at the bottom we have noise white and noise looped. The difference between these 2 waveforms is basically that this one, noise white, it's just white noise. You cannot do anything. You cannot turn the pitch up or any other parameter. Is just what it is. It's just white noise. So let's see how that sounds. All right. Next, the other type of noise we can do with operator out of the box is noise looped. And this is pretty much the same. The only thing is that it's like if it was a sample. I don't know if it's really a sample. I believe so. But the thing with this one is that we now can change the these 2 parameters over here. So we can change the fine tuning and we can change this parameter over here so that the pitch goes higher or lower. Well, no, it cannot go lower. Yeah, just a little bit. So let's see how that sounds. So this is very subtle, the change. But if we change this one, the change is more, you can hear it more clearly. So let's see how that sounds. Oops. So you see we have different types of, we can play with these 2 parameters and we can get some really interesting noises just like that. Okay, so these are the 2 type of noises we can do with operator out of the box. I'm going to show you 2 more ways that you can create noise in operator. So the next way we can do noises or noise with operator is with FM synthesis. So what we're going to be using is the default algorithm, which is full FM mode. And we're going to be changing, instead of noise, we're just going to be using a sine wave. So what we're going to be doing is that we're going to be using this one as the carrier, which is the main signal, and then we're going to be affecting it with these oscillators. So this oscillator is going to be affecting this one, and then this one is going to be affecting this 2, and then this one is going to be affecting the rest. So let's turn up this the amount of the second oscillator and see how that sounds. So now the sound gets a little bit more harsh, and if we do the same one with the third oscillator, you're going to hear it's even harsher, the sound. So let's do that. All right, and let's do the same thing for the last one. So right now it doesn't sound like noise, but if we now play with the fine parameters of the 3 carriers, of the 3 modulators, sorry, which are these on the top, these 3 ones, now we're going to start to hear a more like crazy distorted noisy sound. So let's do that. So you see, I just moved a little bit and it's already going crazy and sounds more like noise. And if we play with these two, we get different types of, different flavors of noise. It's already very, very noisy, so you almost don't hear a difference. So what you can do now is you can play with the levels of these oscillators. So let's disable this for example right now. So I'm going to move the fine parameter right now, and you see it sounds all detuned. And now if we enable this one, and if we don't go all the way up, we still get some like a tone or a note, but is not going to sound all noisy. So this is quite good in some cases, so you don't have full noise, white noise. Other ways you would just use the white noise waveform. So and let's now add the last one. I'm just playing now. So right now we have a good base to start playing with the sound. So what we're going to be doing now is we're going to play with the amplitude envelope. So in this this algorithm, if you want to change the overall amplitude, you have to do it in the first oscillator. So I'm just going to disable these ones for right now, and I'm going to show you. So right now it's by default is set, the loop mode is set to none. So what this means is if I, for example, make a long note, it's going to sound all the way, and when it stops, the sound stops. But we don't want that. We're going to be changing it to trigger, and then we're going to adjust the envelope, and now it's going to sound more like a, you see? All right, so we're going to be doing the same thing for all of these guys, and a quick way we can do that is by clicking over here, and then in this area we right click and we choose copy envelope from oscillator A, and there we go. We do the same thing for the third oscillator and the same thing for the last one. Now if we play the sound, let's see how that sounds. Sounds pretty metallic, right? But if we even make the decay of these guys longer, it's going to be sounding more noisy still. Here. Now the next step we would do over here is we would play with the filter, and we would add a high pass filter. You can choose the one you want, and we would just adjust to taste and choose whichever setting we want. So let's just play and see what we can get. So you hear. And now you can play with all these parameters and fine tune it until you get the type of hi-hat that you want. If you want a more classic, like just a short hi-hat, you would just decrease the decay time. And let's make a beat, well, a bit like a rhythm. Like this, and then, oops, come on. All right, so now we do like this. Let's make these ones. We're going to make these ones in the middle a little bit the volume. We're going to lower the volume, But we also need to go over here to the main area, a general area, and we set the velocity to affect volume, and then we change the amount to 100%. So now if we play this, you hear now the sound affects volume. Let's just drag some other kick and a snare so that it sounds nice. So I'm going to drag a kick over here, so just like this. So this is a kick, and we choose a snare like this, and let's just make a drum beat, something like something like this. Let's just double here the just to make a more interesting beat. Come on, I want to do this as quick as possible, otherwise the tutorial gets a little bit boring. You hear? And now we can play with the the settings of the parameters of the hi-hat and to get whatever we want. Another thing we can do now is, for example, now sounds very much like a normal hi-hat, right? And we can just quickly change it to sound like a maraca. And we do that by going to the first oscillator, and we change the envelope. To the attack we make it a little bit bigger, and the decay we make it a little bit shorter. You see, so very quickly we can change from a maraca to a normal hi-hat. And we can play with so many parameters. I mean, we can play with the filter, the frequency of the filter, the time, the tone. We can play with all these guys, all the levels. They change the sound a lot. Also, these ones, they give you a different flavor. And you can go even, you can now just like add more effects. For example, you can distort it, which sounds pretty good. I mean, you have a built-in distortion over here. If you go to the filter, you click the filter. Here you can see you have a shaper and you have a soft, hard, sine, and 4-bit. They sound pretty good, but for now, let's just use a overdrive. So let's see how. Let's just make something interesting over here, something like this. And so yeah, you see, you can also play with the filter. Here you have an envelope. So I mean, you see the creative possibilities are yeah. Okay, so this was basically what you can do with the FM type of noise. We're going to be experimenting with another type of noise you can do, and that is if we just play with one oscillator over here, and let's make another clip because that one is so we just drop some notes over here. There you go, and now we disable the filter. Okay, so now the way we're going to be doing this type of new noise is by modulating the pitch. So we do that by enabling the LFO, and the LFO has an envelope, so we're going to make the release very long so that it's affecting the sound all the time. Because if we do like this, as soon as the note stops playing, the LFO also stops. But we want to that the LFO stays affecting the pitch all the time. So we're going to be changing the settings over here. So you can hear now it's already affecting the tone. And if we change these parameters, like this, we get some kind of like bell, FM bell sound. But what we want to do is noise. So we go over here into the LFO, we change the waveform to sample and hold. Noise doesn't really work that well, so we're going to play with sample and hold. And now let's hear how that sounds. And if we play with the rate, we get some interesting sounds. So it's a different type of noise, and you can also play with the transpose. And if we now use a filter and we change the decay, we get a more like, I don't know, like spacey type of sound. And you can play also, you have so many possibilities to change the sound. I mean, you can play with the rate, the amount, the transpose, the waveform over here, and afterwards you can add some effects. So we're also with the time. So let's see how that sounds now. You see, if we go very high with the rate, we almost get a kind of white noise. And we can do the same thing like. All right, so let's finish doing a cymbal. So we're just going to put transpose back to its default settings, and with the filter. So we're just going to be using less. Well, let's just leave the ones that have a higher volume. Let's just add them over here like this. Okay, let's see. So we're going to be going back to the FM type of noise, so we'll just enable them because they were there. So what you would do to make a cymbal is basically go back to your hi-hat type of noise, and you would just, of course, make it longer, because a cymbal is more like longer, yeah. And then you would just increase the the resonance. Whoops, that's a bit too long, I think. maybe remove the, and of course I'm in the rhythm. It would be something like this. Let's just make it like this. Oops. And it's just a matter of playing. Also, one interesting thing is this guy over here. If you go to the main area, main parameters, you click there and you can see here it's retrigger. What this does is if you disable it, the sound is not going to be cut by itself when the sound is played again. So let's hear how that sounds. For example, now if we have two notes very close over here, and if the sound is long, every note, you see I stopped it and the sound's still playing. But if I enable this retrigger option, the sound, as soon as the next note is being played, the sound from before is going to stop sounding. So you hear? So this is useful in some occasions. So that's pretty much it. So to recap, you can use a noise white, noise looped, and with noise looped you can play with this. Also, I'm going to show you with noise looped. With noise looped you can play with the let's see how that sounds. Let's change it like this. All right. With noise looped, the cool thing you can do is you can play with the pitch envelope. So if we enable the pitch envelope and the we set the loop mode to trigger, and we put these guys to start at 24 semitones, you can do stuff like this. So sometimes to hear the effect of the pitch envelope, you have to put the transpose knob a bit lower. All right, so that's pretty much it. So now you can go ahead and make your own hi-hats, maracas, splash, cymbals. Of course, experiment yourself, add some effects at the end, chorus, flanger, overdrive, and I hope you liked the tutorial, and see you next week. Ciao.